Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Brad Merriman. To my right, the new Pope, Sally deFries.
Wouldn't you say Randy is more the new Pope? He hails from the Midwest.
It's true.
True.
Closer to Chicago. Are
Famously,
you Catholic?
Randy's dad's name.
I am a confirmed Catholic, and my father's name was Robert Francis. So
about
it's
that?
very interesting. And grew up on the South Side.
Oh.
I didn't. He did. But also, he's a Cubs fan, so I couldn't be.
Can I
him.
ask the question we're all thinking? Is the Pope possibly your dad reincarnated?
Yeah, I would think that it'd be kind of weird considering they were like born within a couple of years of each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's. But
And that like reincarnation is not really a Catholic thing, right? It's
Yeah,
more
no.
Buddhism,
Yeah,
I think.
But it is very interesting. I mean,
What does it mean that he's a born in the South Side Cubs fan? What's that stereotype like?
It's very interesting. Because I mean, Southsiders are Chicago fans because that's just there. So I don't know why he would be a Cubs fan, but I'm sure there's a story behind it.
He also attended Villanova, like my dad did. Look at us.
Look at the
Wow.
connections there.
How
The
about that?
dads.
How about that?
I would be interested to see how close he grew up to, like, by my aunts, uncles, and my parents, all that stuff. If he grew up on the South Side, he would have probably been a couple of years younger. Him and my mom are the same age. So like,
Wonder if they're buddies.
There's a chance that like my
Do they
mom-
know each other?
Out of Portillo's or Lou Malnati's, and
Yeah, I'm gonna have to text her and be like, hey, do you by any chance know like the new Pope?
well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna have a Gardeniera. I'm gonna have a Chicago sandwich at some point. It's a
Little roast beef.
Chicago beef, Gardeniera. At some point, just really get the heartburn going.
I might go to Black Sheep Lodge and get myself a Chicago dog.
Oh, that does sound good.
The Chicago hot dog is the only reason why I can fully get behind that bagels are not as good as they are in New York, because I can never had a really, really good Chicago hot dog outside of Chicago. So I get the New York bagel thing.
Yeah, bagels in New York are just better. I don't know what it is. It's you know what though? I did have a close experience in Austin. Shouts to Rockman Bagels
Well, it's not bagels, Rockman Bakery.
Bakery. I had a bagel from Rockman Bakery.
Yeah.
Very good.
Did you do the tear and dip thing?
Oh yeah, tear and
Yeah.
dip. Yep, they do it
Delightful.
right. I did have the best bagel. I
Friend
think
of
my
the
life.
network.
Oh yeah.
Because Will interviewed her.
Oh,
on
no way.
Scaries.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Amanda.
The
Shouts.
I've only tried the bagels. I'm sure everything's
The
great.
rest of the bakery is awesome. If you need a Austin rec, Rockman Bakery.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't been in a little bit, and
Mhm.
the last time I went, we ordered online, but I don't know if she's still selling out every day like she used to, because it was like a situation you would have to like get in line. Phenomenal lattes too. Great pastries.
I was told that her bagels are so good, but so fresh. Like it's kind of an eat it today bagel. Like
Yeah.
she's not in it for longevity.
She calls them rip and dips. That's what she
Yeah,
calls
rip
them.
and dips.
Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal. The cream cheese or the
Cream cheese
schmear,
is great.
very good. So highly recommend Rockman Bagels / Bakery if you're in Austin looking for some sort of better option than what's currently out there. Plenty of good breakfast taco spots. You know, even some croissant and sourdough and
Hmm.
avocado toast spots, but bagels hard to come by here. Good ones anyway.
Yeah.
What are you up to, Sal? How's things?
I mean, I'm off today because we had muffins with Mom.
Ooh.
And I am doing the thing that I always do when I have like a random off day in the middle of the week, which is like
Mhm.
run 1,000 errands.
Yes.
And so the reason I'm late is because I took a little gander up to the domain to
Ooh.
return huge amounts of Zara that I
So you
refused.
just made money today. Is what you did.
Yeah, I
that
guess
that money's
the girl
back.
math. But
Girl math.
this is what I do, and this is like very pro consumption, which I am trying not to be. But order a bunch of shit on Zara, try it on, decide I hate all of it. I actually kept 2 things, and then take it all back, and then
Yeah.
feel better when it's all back on my credit card. you
Yeah.
know?
Hey, it's a good cycle. It's like you're saving money. That money is back in. It's like you got paid.
I don't know, but I feel better about the fact that it's out of my house.
Yeah. I've stopped buying stuff online just because I've become more of a try it on guy in the last 6 months.
I
'Cause
have
I
the
got tired of-
opposite problem.
Really.
I want to buy stuff online It's a twofold reason. Well,
Mhm.
it's really threefold. Number one, I have deluded myself into thinking that I look like the model. So then
Oh,
you're
you
like,
look great.
oh, like
You look great.
I can wear that. But like, sure, I look great, whatever. But like, I'm not
Mhm.
5'10". Okay.
Okay.
So that's the
Okay.
problem. Like, you're like, that looks
Mm.
cute. I'm going to do that. Number two, I like to be at my house.
Mhm.
You know, I'm an introverted extrovert. So I
Sure.
am at my house when I'm not doing other things. So I would rather just like try on in the comfort of my own home.
Mhm.
And number three, it's like getting a package is like getting a little present in the mail.
It
It's
really
like
is, especially
Yeah.
if you kind of forget you bought something or
just a little gift.
little
But
gift for you.
then
Yeah.
the problem is that you have to send it back. It's fucking pain in the ass.
That
I'm sure it's
is-
not good for the environment.
Yeah.
Can't be good.
Yep. That is my biggest reason for becoming more of an in-person shopper lately. Because not a big inconvenience guy. So if
Yeah.
I got something, I will like tell myself it fits better than it does, just because I don't want to go through the hassle of the return process, return policy. Just a pain in the ass.
Oh, like if I'm returning something, I return it like same day. I think
Ugh.
earlier I was in here
See, I'll put it like in my
printing out
closet.
the UPS label, and
Yeah.
I got that stuff yesterday. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
this is getting returned right now.
Man,
And
I mean, good for
Zara,
you.
Zara is annoying because you can return stuff and it costs like $5 to just return stuff. But instead of doing that,
Mhm.
I'll just go into the store, which is like arguably just as annoying.
Sure,
Uh,
sure. But then you're in the store and you can be like, well, that's cute.
Yeah,
snag
but
that.
Zara's too overwhelming. It's like too much shit. It's
Okay.
like really in your face. So not in your face like Forever 21 was, but it's like too much to go through. It's like
Mhm.
better to just be in the comfort of my own iPhone, just scrolling
I got you.
pics.
Yeah, scrolling. I think I have a new spot.
Where are you going?
I think I've graduated to Buck Mason.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, look at you.
yeah.
I don't really
got
know what that means. I mean, I know what Buck Mason is, but like, I don't.
I'd say like it's probably the natural evolution once you get into your 30s for men's wear. A little
Okay.
bit more, on the
A little
higher
elevated.
end.
Sure.
They have a
Got it.
store on South Congress in the like right by Soho House kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. And I 5 years ago I'd have been like, oh, this is too bland. This is too like biz cash kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And today I'm like, ooh, this is right up my alley.
This is not an episode of retail therapy, but I do have to ask Randy, how have you been taking the tariffs? Are you still shopping at Shein?
I'm not shopping at Shein. I bought like one or two shirts at like years ago. It was my first dip into like
Fast fashion?
Yeah, well, not fast, but like trying to dress up a little more and be more fashion forward. And it was like, all right, I could take a gamble on a $5 shirt, and I still do have one shirt from Shein that I wear all the time and get compliments on it. So I don't buy any clothes anymore.
I think Will thinks that I'm spiraling about the tariff situation.
Okay.
And to be fair, I am spiraling
Okay.
about it. Did we already talk about this on the pod? We've talked about this because somebody messaged me about
Tariffs?
Target. No?
I don't know if we have.
Okay. I have just been in a full blown like panic spiral about
yeah.
like, will we have shit to give our kids for Christmas, which shouldn't matter. Like, I could probably honestly rewrap some of Fritz's toys. He wouldn't have a fucking clue. Well, Charlie definitely wouldn't have a clue.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not like, of course I want stuff to be American made, blah, blah, blah. But like, really when we get down to the crux of it, like I'm pretty worried about like medical supplies.
Yeah, there's a whole lot.
There's just a lot that I consume that is made in China.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a whole lot of stuff.
But I'm laughing
next couple weeks
because
are gonna be
all of these
interesting.
people have like realized that like they can't just buy 17 shirts on Shein anymore for $30. I mean, not that you could do that before, but like $100, you get 7 items haul, and now they're getting like $260 bills from FedEx.
Oh yeah. What's Randy? What's TikTok like on the TikTok girlies that do outfits every day or whatever?
You think I get that's on my For You page?
Yes,
I
I
have
do.
no clue.
I
That's
do.
I
You
don't-
were
I get
famously
D- I get
sundress
D&D.
TikTok.
Yeah, okay. That was me. That was more mansplaining TikTok than sundress
okay.
TikTok.
If I had a TikTok right now, it would just be a doom spiral of tariff related stuff. Probably.
You know what's weird in this climate? I found it easier to just not scroll. It should be the total opposite, but
Yeah.
I have been able to break away. I can't explain.
I mean, I've
I
never
can't
had a
explain it.
TikTok, so then
Can't explain
it's easier to not doom scroll. But I also think like now I've gone so far in my head about it, it's probably not going to be a problem, or like to the extent that I've made it out to be.
Yeah, it's like you think, isn't that just kind of like society
Anxiety.
in general?
That's
And
just what anxiety
It's
is.
just like we think the worst case scenario. We go through the worst case scenario, and then it's like it's still bad, but it's not as bad as we make it out to be. So people are like, "Oh, see, it's not that bad." We're like, "Yeah, but it still was like 34% bad."
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's just doom scrolling, doom spiraling. We'll be all right.
Love a spiral.
Love a good
Please take my
spiral.
advice now that I've proven to not be mentally sound.
Oh man, fun one for y'all today. But first, let's hear it from our friends over at Factor. You ready to make this your best season yet, Sally?
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on the season of summer, as told by Brett, which begins Memorial Day weekend. We did the seasons last time.
Yeah.
So summer's coming up. So make this your best summer yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle. You have 45 weekly menu options. You can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. They can also power your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Plus, it's easier to savor more this spring. Pack the flavor with none of the fuss. Randy, you're the Factor guy.
I am. I love Factor. I love their cauliflower rice. It's so easy. It's so good too. It's the most like low maintenance meal. It's just very simple.
That
to
is
do.
actually very good.
Yeah.
See, the main difference between Randy and I, though, is I plate my Factor meals, and you just go right out of the
right out of the tray.
Right out of the tray. I don't hate it. It does save you from washing a dish.
Yep.
But
It's like, but I open up the fridge and 8 minutes later, I'm eating the meal, watching some anime or something. You know.
There you go. They did a pretty good the queso one. Did you have that?
I don't think so.
It was like beef queso.
No, I haven't had
Ground
that
beef
one yet.
Queso with fantastic. Anyway, get started at factormeals.com/mail50off and use code mail50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code mail50off at factormeals.com/mail50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Want to lead us off, Sal?
Sure. How much are we contributing to gifts on wedding registries when they're open-ended, like honeymoon funds or home funds? $50, $75, $100. This is a two-prong. How close are you to them?
That's 100%.
And how much can you afford?
Yeah. Variables here.
Did you just spend $5,000 going to their wedding in Mexico / on the bachelor party, etc.? I think you can throw 50 in.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they can see how much you contributed. I'm sure there's a setting there.
Yeah, it's like a GoFundMe, like anonymous versus name.
Yeah,
I think I've put name on it before, been like, have fun, guys. Brett or something like that.
I think that they know how much everyone does.
I think 50
is minimum.
Mm-hmm. And like 25 is like, okay, why'd you contribute? 50 I feel like is because also at the same time people are like buying $50 paper towel holders and that's what they can afford.
Totally. That's the registry. Yeah. 50. I think 50 is perfect. I think 100's generous. And anything above that is like, kind of a knowing them or there's some sort of other factor at play. But like if it's just a kind of a guest of a one-off wedding, I think $100, $50 is fine.
I think 100's great. I think you have more leeway if you like maybe it was like a small wedding and you didn't have to do a bunch for it. Like again, your level of involvement. I think if you have a high level involvement, you can tone it down on the amount of the gift.
I would agree with that. Yes.
If you have a low level involvement, but you're also close to them, I think you can up it a little more. So
totally agree.
Multifactorial.
Yeah. You take travel into account, you take the hotel into account, you take whatever the expenditure was, and you kind of dial it in from there. It's an equation. It's a loose, informal equation, but it's an equation.
I just $75 is my if I'm getting gifts or doing anything, like $75 a single guy is.
I think that's perfect.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe a pizza stone. I don't know.
Or I gave everyone these wooden cutting boards that were like charcuterie boards that were in the state of Texas shape.
Mhm. I remember
That
you
then
saying
had
that, yeah.
like what's the word I'm looking for? Because it wasn't like branded on there.
Embossed.
I guess
Or, like
embossed,
Like carved.
carved out
carved,
of there
yeah,
with like
yeah,
their
yeah.
initials
That's
and
fun.
the date they got married and like a heart where
Mm.
they got married. And it was so complicated because I would order them in bulk. Like I would just order like 10 the year, say I
I
have
know it well. Yeah.
2019, the year of 2019 year, and I had 10 weddings. I would
Mhm.
order them all, but then like they would get like a couple of them got messed up. And
Ooh, okay.
so I ended up like becoming really good friends with this girl who like
Wait,
made them on Etsy.
She was like making
And
them.
Amy would like literally email me and be like, okay, I just want to like proof, double check.
Yeah, you want 10 of these.
And it was great because Texas is like a really good size.
Yeah, and you can also kind of like there's like a couple different regions where you can put stuff.
Yeah. The thing is that Texas has a great shape. It's a
Fantastic
very
shape.
knowable shape. Like
Mhm.
you're getting married in Colorado. Like no
You
offense to
get-
Colorado. Like that's just a square. Like basically.
You're just getting like a rectangle with like a little
That's
little
pretty
curve to it.
boring. Like
Yeah, Wyoming, same
and
thing.
the also the great thing about Texas was it had a really big service area. Like California and Florida were too skinny.
Too skinny. Yeah, unless you go
And
huge
then-
with them, you don't want to do that.
Right. And
Yeah.
then we did gift a Michigan one, which was like actually kind of fun because you had the mitt and then you had the UP that you could like put your utensils on.
Oh, they came
They
as
were
a
they
set
came
of two.
separate. Yeah.
I wonder what they would do with New York if they like just like Long Island. They get a
No,
little,
I think they would just
they
do
just
New
do
York
the
State and
little-
probably like
yeah.
connect Long Island to it.
Yeah, that piece gets broken off easy.
Yeah.
though.
It's
Easy.
like New Zealand getting forgotten on the map all the time.
I don't
like,
I don't forget my Kiwis. Come on.
Okay,
dog.
but like there's lots. Haven't you ever seen that Last Week Tonight where they just like do a full segment about how like lots of world maps just like leave New Zealand off?
I get it. Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah,
Just
yeah,
a full ass
like a
country,
throw
and they're
in.
just like, meh.
They got to just throw them in. Like Hawaii gets the nod on the U.S. maps, where it's like they did their little own insert.
But like
yeah,
I'm talking
bam.
about like a full blown world map, and there's Australia and like New
and
Zealand's
they just
nowhere
don't
to be
go
found.
over far
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Interesting.
Bummer.
Huh. That's too bad. New Zealand's up there on list.
New
of
Zealand
places.
probably prefers it that way. They're
Yeah,
like
they just
trying
kinda-
to stay out of the cool zone. They're like, we get how great we are. We don't need other people knowing about it. Like,
They're like-
let's.
I feel like all the best parts of Australia combined with all the best parts of like California combined.
Right. And like
I said
they
combined
can
like
be
9 times there.
isolationists because like they're very self-sufficient and they're like, please don't come here.
Huge tourism, but like enough to sustain it, but not over the top.
Yeah.
Like it because it's very hard,
Well, it's hard to get
there,
to,
so they
yeah.
can charge out the ass for things, so they don't need 60 million people
Listen,
going to Disney World.
if New Zealand had CRNAs as a job, we would be there.
Ooh.
Probably.
Pretty good Savi B in New Zealand,
Oh,
Yeah.
is there?
Yeah.
I would
like
love to
world
see,
renowned Savi B.
a graph of tourism for New Zealand pre 2000 and post 2000. Like
Oh, it's gotta be,
I'm
like,
curious
just
where you're going
fully-
with this.
because of Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
I've so many people want to go to New Zealand because of Lord of the
But
Rings.
I also think people just
Oh.
New Zealand wasn't really like on people's radar unless you knew someone there
Mhm.
until post Lord of the Rings and also post like social media.
Got it.
Like I want to go
Okay.
there just to go see stuff and like go to Hobbiton and all that.
Yeah.
They still have like the movie set of like
Really?
that there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great. Like I feel like Star Wars probably.
But
has a
yeah,
couple
I mean,
places
I
like
had
that,
friends
too.
who honeymooned in New Zealand, and it was like that's what they did. They like went,
To the-
they did Lord of the Rings stuff just because like not like over the top, but then they mostly like went to Sauvignon Blanc vineyards.
Oh, sign me up.
Yeah,
Sign me up. I've heard New Zealand is sneaky good, like skiing. Sneaky good cuisine. I learned from New Zealand actually, Randy. Rocket Power, the New Zealand episode where they go and do the Zorbs.
what's the Justin Bieber music video where he's just like running around New Zealand? Randy,
I'm not.
do
a
you know what I'm
music
talking
I'm not
about?
a music video
I
guy.
don't know this one. Yeah,
I don't
know.
even know why I know this, but there is a music video where Justin Bieber is running around New Zealand. It's just like literally him running and then like drones just taking off of like mountains, like
Really?
mountainous views of New Zealand.
Oh, that
Hold
sounds
on.
sick.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
Google it.
I had someone DM me recently that was in New Zealand visiting, and geez, our wash group text is going crazy right now. and there was a wedding happening at the Shire like movie set that's still there, and it was only like $3,000 to rent it out. I'm sure there's a
Really?
huge waiting list for it, but yeah, so they saw like a wedding happening there. It's pretty cool.
Oh wait.
Do you fly?
Maybe he filmed it in Iceland. I think this is wrong.
Okay.
I think he filmed it in Iceland. Just kidding. Sorry, you guys.
Okay. No, that's okay. Hey, we're Team Beeps. Do you see him playing golf the other day? He didn't look great.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah, we can move on. I
Okay.
like New Zealand talk, but shouts to the wedding gifts. New Zealand, not a great charcuterie board.
No.
Just skinny, misshapen.
Yeah. You gotta have 2 pieces.
Australia, great charcuterie board.
Yeah. Australia. I mean,
Fantastic charcuterie.
same thing with the United States. Like a very like recognizable shape.
Very. The problem with the U.S. though is if you're going to make a usable charcuterie board, like Florida's going to get the short end of the stick. It's going to be too small.
But you just put like a little like cheese knife on Florida.
You could. I'm saying there's a break risk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're going to
yeah.
snap Florida off. But don't we all want to do that anyway?
Weren't you just there? Didn't you have a good
I
time?
was. It was beautiful. I had a great time. Shouts to
Wow.
30A and Key West.
Wow.
You would love Key West, Rain.
I know it would.
So much. Anyway, let's do the next one. Sally, this one's for you. Can you talk about wearing scrubs out in public? I've always wondered why people do this. It seems unsanitary to go from a hospital environment, dealing with either sick patients or bodily fluids from surgeries, to walking into a restaurant for lunch. I'm from the UK, and it's a big no-no for medical workers to wear the scrubs in public. What's up with that?
I before you get into it, I remember that before I got hired here, saw a guy in my gym working out in scrubs, and I called mail in when it was you and Dylan to like ask your opinion on
We
that.
definitely
So,
talked about this because
yeah,
I
this
am
is-
having
oh,
this
wow.
memory and being like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, this is pre me like being hired here. And
Wow.
I asked the
Yeah,
mail-in.
working out in scrubs. Okay, so to answer this person's question, if you're in surgery,
Mhm.
it depends on the place, but most people will require you to wear surgical scrubs, like show up to the hospital in civilian clothes, change into scrubs, and then
Yeah,
change out.
scrub
and they
in,
get,
scrub out. That's
and
like
they
a
get
term,
laundered at the hospital. Now,
right? Mhm.
that applies to like the surgical staff, so like the OR nurses and the surgery techs.
Yeah.
We do not have to do that.
But you're not getting spritzed on, right?
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
But because we are hospital contractors, my group specifically, we are not required to wear hospital scrubs.
Mm.
So a lot of people, myself included, will wear personal scrubs.
Okay.
Many people in healthcare feel like, but I do know people who wear hospital scrubs because they're like, I'm not going home with this disgusting scrubs on.
Mhm.
I have gotten more anal about this as I've gotten older, and especially having had kids. Like when I get home and am in scrubs, and before like my kids can touch me and stuff, I like strip down, take off my shoes, like
Mhm.
all that's gross. When I was in the ICU as like a single 24-year-old nurse, like I would like come home, like do shit, like sit on my couch, like whatever. And like arguably those scrubs were pretty disgusting, probably
my
had
God.
like major diseases on them. It was not uncommon for me
Mhm.
in Houston to like be at work and then go out, not go out, but like go to
Mhm.
El Tiempo
Like on your
at
way home. or
post
something.
work
Yeah.
and be in scrubs. And
Okay.
mostly because you are already like wearing it. Like I think if you see people out at lunch, like they probably have like left where they were and like are gonna go back.
Yeah, they don't want to like in out.
And in the sense that also in America, and I don't know if this exists other places, but many jobs now wear scrubs instead of like business casual. Like I'm talking like dental offices, like
My-
nurses who are like,
Orthopedic guy was wearing
Right.
scrubs. I was like, you're like, we're not doing anything.
but like we're in the office. And it
Mhm.
used to be like doctors would wear like business casual and
With
then a white coat.
with a smock.
And
Not a
that's
smock, a
still-
white coat.
And that still does exist, but you also have the option of like you can do that or you can wear scrubs. And people are like, well, I'm gonna wear scrubs.
Comfy.
Like
Yeah.
they're cheaper. Some like if the hospital's providing them, they're free, and I don't have to like dress up. So like even like medical aesthetic offices, like I mean,
Oh yeah.
these people are like giving me Botox and they're wearing scrubs. Like they could also be wearing layman's clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So
yeah.
I think we also exist in a society where a lot of these jobs that don't require them wear them.
Mhm.
And so maybe some of the people you're seeing out are not like
Yeah.
full blown in the thick of like patient bodily fluids.
Right. I feel like if you're in those industries where it's like you're getting blood on you or you're getting XYZ on you, you kind of not to wear, you just change, right? Like
Everyone that I know who is like in a situation like that, like I will tell Will, and I wear my own scrubs because, to be honest, the hospital ones are not flattering, but also the sizing is like not great because you'll
Okay.
like put on a small and like some days it fits like an extra small, some days it fits like a large. It's just like I would rather launder it myself. But I do.
Sure.
Most people I know who are wearing their own scrubs are like not letting their shoes in the house.
Mhm.
They're like stripping as soon as they get home. A lot of people like who have like a washing machine like in their garage are just like literally fully getting undressed in the garage because it's like you don't want to bring that home
Sure.
to like
Yeah, yeah.
your house or your kids or whatever. But
Yeah.
I was a lot more free with it when I was younger because I just didn't care or think about it. I think it's common, especially in Houston when I worked in like the medical center,
Right.
the areas around it, like Rice Village, to like after 7 p.m. or even in the morning when I worked night shift, we would go to breakfast. Like you will see people out in scrubs who are like just having a meal, but they're not like out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I would do that. Like I would go home from El Tiempo and like have a meal in my scrubs, like at the bar with my friend. But like, because I had just gotten off work and I like didn't have time to go home and change. And it was like a random Wednesday night. But if I was like meeting friends or going to the gym,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
But like I'll run errands in scrubs.
Yeah.
It's not like my favorite thing to do, but I'm like, I also think it's like so dumb when like we have people that we're taking care of who are like medical and they wear scrubs to like their surgery or maybe the wife is having surgery and the husband's in the medical field and he'll wear scrubs. Just like, why are you wearing scrubs? Are you doing something today?
Wait. So you're saying like say a doctor husband, his wife is having a baby.
Yeah.
And he'll come to the OB ward, maternity ward in scrubs.
Yeah.
That's like
which is like one thing if you're going into the OR,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to like be. When people have C-sections, they wear these like basically they look like caddy suits.
Totally.
But like
that's one
like,
thing.
Come
That's like
on.
wearing.
No,
that's
I've
like,
had people who show up for surgery like in scrubs, and you're like,
come on.
Okay.
That's like
I
wearing
think
a
that's a
baseball
real
uniform to a game.
Try hard move that it's like there's two camps for people who work in medicine when you're being treated by
Mm-hmm.
a doctor or nurse. It's like you either don't say shit and you don't want anybody to know that you're medical, mostly because of the nurse curse, or you are like, hey, by the way, I'm a doctor. And then they're like, oh, what kind of doctor? And they're like, a periodontist. You're like, oh, wow. So you must know a lot about abdominal surgery, being a gum surgeon. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
I'm
just trying to think of.
And you definitely, to this person's point, like, you would see people out in Houston, like fucking wearing some scrubs to get some attention at the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like people out in like Midtown, and you're like, okay,
that's stolen valor.
Exactly.
If I
Like
were
you
to do
couldn't
it,
couldn't go home and change. Like it's one thing to be like, it's clear when you're in Austin, like, oh, we're next to a hospital.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you're down over by like Seton and like lunch spots over there, you know people work right there.
Right.
Same thing in the med center in Houston. It's like we know everyone just got off work.
Yeah. Rice Village. Shout.
But like if you're just like out in Midtown in Houston in scrubs, ew. Like that's gross.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I've never seen somebody in scrubs in, El Tiempo or anywhere and been like, I guess I've questioned it and been like, I wonder what their job is.
Yeah.
But I've never been like, oh, I wonder if they have like blood or disease all over them.
Like,
maybe I'm too trusting.
Yeah.
So because you've come in and done the mail-in in scrubs and like, I just was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. But like that, again, I came straight from work. And if I was like gross, I mean, there are days, again, I'm not usually in the thick of it. There are days where I'm definitely more gross than others. Like either I'm like moving a patient and they were really sick or anytime I'm in endo in the endoscopy center and we're doing colonoscopies and upper scopes. I mean, that's pretty gross.
You're just gonna, give that one a change.
Just the air in there. It's not great.
Yeah. It's
Yikes. Yeah. I remember this was at Planet Fitness up north and I was just like, I was so appalled that this guy was working out in scrubs. I'm like, we have a locker room. Like, you can go change like that. Like, why are you working out in scrubs right now?
Yeah, not a huge fan of working out in scrubs.
Like, yeah. Like,
I mean, I
just trying to
get, like,
show
I
off
get,
that you have
I
scrubs?
get it.
I don't know.
If it's a last, you just don't want to do like
the gym
3
thing
outfits.
is weird though. You can change at the gym.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have a locker room.
Right.
So you should just bring in clothes.
this guy's just like, man, I don't want to change. I don't want 3 outfits today. Maybe only 2. Maybe went to work in scrubs. I don't know, man. That's weird.
All right, let's hit the next one.
Next one.
I'm supposed to go on a 2-week trip to Japan in a month. My girlfriend and I planned it together, but now she's unsure about going due to immigration and visa concerns tied to the current political climate. Not trying to get political. Most of the trip is now refundable, and I've been saving and planning this for months. To complicate things further, we're supposed to move in together 2 weeks after I get back. It's not 100% certain yet if she's going or not. If she decides to not go, how bad would it be if I went solo? I don't think we'll get a chance to do this again anytime soon, and I'm feeling really conflicted.
Wait, hold on.
My first question here is, the immigration and visa concerns.
It's
Are you saying that
You staying there for a while? It's
you're
just
not
a
allowed
passport,
to
right?
come back, or what's
Okay,
the,
so here's my question to the writer.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this stuff is unfounded. And again, I'm not trying to get political, even though I have been very vocal about politics on this podcast. If she is not a citizen,
then don't go.
I would say not go. And I'm not talking about citizen of Japan, obviously.
No.
If she's here on a visa and she's worried about getting back into the country, I think that is a valid concern.
Totally.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I thought
If she's an
Uh,
American
yeah.
citizen,
If she's an
I
American
don't
citizen
have the same concern.
that is going to Japan and then coming back,
It's fine.
I think that's fine. Now,
Yeah.
I will say this. I have heard and have personally experienced customs in the past couple months being like really over the top.
Sure.
I think people are maybe getting a little bit too worked up and like freaking out that people are going to like search their phones and things like that. Like I get that. But when we went through customs on the way home from Mexico, and I've like never been asked this, I'm a global entry member, whatever. The lady was like, where'd you come from? And doing the normal questions, like, did you
Sure.
bring anything back? But then like, honestly being like, well, where's your global entry card? And I was like, I would never have this card with
Yeah,
me. And like
yeah.
literally looked at me and was like, she just kind of started giving me the 3rd degree. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is like interesting. And then all of a sudden just like stopped. I was like, okay, cool, bye. And I was like,
yeah.
what? That was a really weird interaction. Here's what I'll say. If she's here on a visa, or illegally, or is a real left-wing activist that's
Perhaps
public,
has some social media out
I
there.
would say maybe don't.
Sure.
But if she's just like a layperson, citizen
Who's
walking
got
around,
a
like
Texas driver's license, like
I think you're good.
yeah.
Uh,
I think I've never heard. I've heard it the other way, where people are hesitant to come here on visas because there's
right.
a lot of
I understand.
yeah.
Currently, I think if you are here on a visa and you leave and try to come back, I think that might get a little
That's
tricky,
more trickier certainly. But if she's
given
an
what's
American
currently
citizen,
happening. But
you're good.
if she's an American citizen, I think you're good. Now, say that is all the case, and she still doesn't want to go, like, and it's not refundable, I would still go.
Yeah, definitely still go.
Yeah, Randy's the Japan guy of this podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of dope. And if it's ready, you pay for so much.
Of
take
course.
someone else.
I mean,
Yeah, I
like
would be interested if she just is a normal citizen and like just like a passport and stuff. Maybe she, I guess, education is the best way to do like to quell fear on stuff. So
There
the
you go,
more
Randall.
that she does information on it, maybe she'll
Pillars by
feel
Randy.
better.
I do think exactly like to your point, Randy, if she is in like a doom spiral, like freaking out as some of us have been
Mhm.
since November, it might be worth like and she is an American citizen, you think these concerns are unfounded, like maybe bring in like, I don't know, like a travel agent friend who you book this through, or like a lawyer, or like I'm not saying like go contact a lawyer. I'm saying like if you have any friends who are like have some knowledge of this, like that can like kind of talk her off the ledge, or even like her mom, be like, hey, like we really want to take this trip, but she's like really spiraling. Like I think
Mhm.
if you could calm her down, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
We need to know
with
more
this question.
on this, for
Also,
sure.
I
but
don't understand the move-in part. It's just
I
that,
think he's saying that if he goes by himself, she's going to be mad at him and not want to move in or break up, or he's going to feel bad leaving her behind, knowing that she's probably anti this trip very much so, or can't, maybe she's not a citizen,
right.
and it would be tricky.
Yeah.
And years ago it would have been less tricky. Now it's more tricky.
Right.
So she's going to be, resentful of him still going, which to Randy's point, it's like, well, it's non-refundable, so we're eating it anyway. I'm going to go and take this experience with me, and then we're still going to move. Like, in the long run, it's not going to net out poorly for you if you go,
Right.
unless she literally is ultimatuming this, which I can't. If she's doing that, then is she the right person regardless?
I mean, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I just need some more info on this question. I
True.
think. Yeah.
You know who I don't need more info on? But I'll give it anyway.
Shoot.
Aura frames. The number one thing your mom wants from you this Sunday is to call her. Must be nice. This Mother's Day, you can give her a call, of course, and give her an Aura digital picture frame. Sally, let me be the first to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Upcoming.
Wow. Thanks.
My grandma, I've said this before, locked and loaded, multiple Aura frames. She's got 2 in her living room, pointing at each other. They're dueling. They're not synced up. So it's just it's a competition of the grandkids and aunts and uncles who can get more content up on grandma's Aura frames.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Will did this the other day. He's like over there. I'm like, what are you doing on your phone? He's like smiling to himself, but it's actually he's looking back on pictures and sending them to his mom because he was like, I'm pretty sure Betsy just updated the frame. So we got to we got to give more.
We got to jump in.
More of our stuff on there,
Yeah.
And then who wins? Will's mom wins the most because she
100%.
gets the pictures she wants,
100%.
And we're doing the state's way. I mean, like she's in Michigan,
Mhm.
Will's in Texas,
great.
Betsy's in Montana.
It's an incredibly easy app interface.
Yeah.
They're awesome products. They will put a smile on anybody's face, especially your mom's. I can't say enough nice things about
Could
Aura
not
frames.
be a more perfect Mother's Day gift.
Perfect Mother's Day.
If you haven't already given it after we've like tried to talk you into it for Christmas or Valentine's Day, like Mother's Day is actually the GOAT holiday for this frame.
It's perfect.
I mean, the frame's great for other holidays too, but like this is like the number one time you should be buying it.
Yep. And then load that sucker up and with dogs and kids and
All
girlfriends.
moms want is photos. That's it.
I went in and after our read last week, I have updated my my Aura frame pics that were out there at Grandma's place to be a little more relevant.
Yeah.
Had to delete some, but we're good. We're back.
Did you have
all
a nude
updated.
on there or like
I didn't have a nude. I just perhaps had some people that are no longer in my life. So.
Okay. Got it. We
Not my
updated
parents.
the roster of people
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Aura. Got it.
Yeah.
This is just the easiest thing to use on the planet and it looks really good. And like no one is prouder of photos of their kids than moms and grandmas.
They love them.
Like
Love them.
the most. Like all they want to see is pictures of you.
Yeah.
And your dog.
Pictures of me. Hung up
Maybe a
on your wall
sunset.
for the
I don't
world to
know.
see.
But like mostly of you. So like this is a no-brainer.
Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com. Promo code MAILIN. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. What's up, party people? My wife is set to be induced on the Tuesday after Mother's Day. Do I do a gift that day and day of birth, or just one? Any thoughts on potential gifts would also be appreciated. Do you get the Mother's Day gift if you miss it by 2 days?
No, because you're well, okay. Do y'all know what a push present is?
I've heard of a push present. This is where I was going with the question.
A push present is a present you get
after pushing a baby out
for
of you.
having a baby.
Or taken out of you.
I'm not going to say pushing a baby out because you should also, in my case, get push presents for having them punch it out of your uterus from a C-section. So,
did you say punch it out?
Yeah.
Is that what they do?
They literally like sit on top of your ribs and shove it out of you. Have you never seen the video of Charlie being born?
No.
Do you want to see it?
I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
the way you
What?
described it.
What?
Wait, how's the C-section work? I never knew this.
I thought it was just like
They just took a scalpel and just went, boop.
yeah. I
Well,
thought
they
it
don't
out.
just pop
thought
out. It's
they-
still a small. I mean, okay.
I thought
The
they picked
hole
it up
is
like a
still
fumble.
like this big, like a couple inches, like still small. Because otherwise, like they're not just like cutting me like, sternum to pubic bone and just like ripping the baby out. Like
Oh,
it's really
okay,
low.
That's what I thought.
My scar is like on my pubic bone. I mean, it's like really low. You can't see it if I'm in a bikini. Then they reach their hand up there, they grab the baby's head, and then someone else from the top, like where your boobs are, like shoves and pushes the baby out, and they pull it out.
What?
The scar is like mine's probably 3 inches long.
Whoa.
Are you're starting to get pale?
Yeah, Brett's taking this a lot of.
I
more than I am,
that just blew my mind.
Do you think that they just like? Do you just think I have like a C-section scar that you've seen me in a swimsuit?
I
like,
thought it was low and lateral.
it is low and lateral.
Okay, but like that wide. So
No.
they just like go in like picking up a fumble and they're like ball.
No. They grab the head and then they have to pull. I mean, it's
It's-
still a small.
It's still going through a small little.
Yeah.
Oh boy, did not know that.
I mean, 10 centimeters is how far dilated you have to be for a vagina, which is like still,
Right.
again, not that
Not-
much, like
not
3
huge.
inches. Like that's not.
Wow,
Women deserve push presents. Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Regardless
for
of its where it's
for
taken
this,
out
I
of.
think you give her a push present on the day or in the hospital after. And
Mhm.
then you give her flowers the day of. Like
Mother's Day flowers. this
Mother's Day
Sunday.
flowers. You could give her the gift preemptively on Mother's Day, but I think it's more special once the baby's there.
I agree. I think that's a good idea. Keep it simple. Keep it light. Flowers are great. And then
Mother's
push
Day, a
present.
card. I know you're
Yeah.
about to be a mom. We're so excited.
Yeah,
like that's
perfect. Make it easy. The thing you don't want, it's better to do it than not do it and have her be like,
Like
you
what
know,
the hell?
in
Be like, it's
throes
coming
of-
in 2
yeah,
days.
In
Like,
2 days, like
yeah.
she's emotional enough and hormonal enough right this second that just to be safe.
Give
Just
her
to be
give her
safe.
a card or flowers or whatever you want to do just to acknowledge that you know that she is going to become a mother in the next few days.
What about say you're due in September, and so we got a little bit of time.
But you're pregnant.
But you're pregnant now, and Mother's Day is this Sunday.
I
are
think you
doing
can
a
still
little-
acknowledge that she's going to be a mother.
Yeah, maybe not a whole. You don't need to go crazy.
You don't need to go
but
full bore,
little-
but like,
maybe a little card and some flowers.
Yeah.
You get flowers on a Wednesday. Like
yeah,
do the flowers.
flowers are
regardless.
easy.
Yeah,
Flowers, a
little
card,
excited
anything.
excited for you to be a mama kind of thing.
Like even if it's far out, like make her dinner or brunch
Yeah.
and be like, I know you're not a mom yet, but like you're gonna be. I'm really excited. Like then
right,
they're
it's
like,
not-
oh hell yeah.
it's
like,
not going to go. It can't go wrong. Well,
Right.
I guess it can go wrong, but like doing that while she's pregnant and the pregnant
showing
health
someone I'm thinking about you and excited that you're bearing
Yes.
my child
Yes.
is never gonna.
is never going to go poorly.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
crushed it. Last one.
Yeah. Last one.
Okay.
We got to keep it tactical today.
I've got a question about how to talk to friends about money. 2 of my closest friends, a married couple, had their first child almost 2 years ago. Since then, they have been complaining to me, a single guy, about the expenses associated with the child. Throughout these past 2 years, I have picked up a lot of tabs for them under the thinking that they will just Venmo me later. The tab is now $4,000. 2/3 of this comes from picking up the whole bill for an annual Mardi Gras party we host together. My friends acknowledge the Venmos, but then they always say they cannot afford to pay them at the moment due to expenses of having a child. For the most part, this didn't bother me. And I admit that some of this is my fault because I say yes to covering the whole bill too easily. I genuinely love them and their child and am fortunate enough where the debt isn't a huge burden. However, they've recently begun talking about their upcoming trips to Costa Rica and to Japan. Wow, I wonder if it's the same couple. How do I let them know, preferably in a non-confrontational way, that it's pretty annoying that they are, 1, taking these international trips while they owe me money, and 2, talking about the trips in front of me as if I should be excited for them, even though they are telling me that they cannot afford to pay me back? Okay.
This like ticked me off reading it.
Okay, number 1.
$4,000.
Wow, $4,000. I
That's
was about to
quite
be
the
like,
tab.
whoa, you're keeping tab, but like,
Right. I operate, I'm sure you do the same, under like a Venmo. It sort of comes out in the wash unless it's a very specific.
like you get me,
picked
I
up-
get you,
Yeah,
whatever.
at some
But-
point the tab is within $100 of each other.
But it becomes very apparent when one side is doing all the stuff, right?
I'd argue anywhere above $200 is like probably grounds for like a, hey, let's settle up.
Well, but like even I'm thinking about some friends we have right now who
Mhm.
like we spend a lot of time with.
Mhm.
They have kids our kids' ages, and it's like, oh, it's okay. It's your house this time, my house next time,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And there's never been a point where I'm like, we might owe them money, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's because it's very even. But I would venture to say that if it was always us and we were
Yeah.
always picking up the tab, you'd start being like, you know, we're starting to cover a lot. Like, and then you start keeping tabs. So I'm assuming that that's where this
Well,
originated
I mean,
from.
we're getting to 4 racks. It's
Yeah.
whoa.
I'm glad that he admitted that this is part of his problem, because like I know as a single guy, I don't have as many expenses, and like having kids is very, very expensive, and I get
Sure.
that. But like after $200, I'm understanding like, okay, I'm not, picking up their stuff. 4,000, man, like that is.
So
You
the-
should have stopped this a long
The
time ago.
party,
It sounds like the party
especially,
is
Yeah.
the big
is like
piece of
where
this.
you're like, you need to pay me back. So, couple steps. Number one, do not pick up any more tabs.
Yeah,
that's-
you're
that's
done.
number one. for
cut
sure.
yourself off.
Done. And it can be covertly not picking up any more tabs. You're over it. Or it can be a conversation of like, hey, like I think we should split checks. And if they ask, then that will give you the opening to broach the subject. But number one, do not cover any of the more stuff for them at all. We're done. We've discussed the statute of limitations on Venmos for a really
Mhm.
long time. Like, I don't know how far back the 4,000 goes. I think you're well within bounds to get paid back for the party.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would go to the one you are closer with and just be like,
Mhm.
hey, like, I know we've discussed it in the past, but I really would like to get paid back for the Mardi Gras party.
Yeah.
And if they're weird about it, be like, it's just kind of uncomfortable because I know that you're paying for international travel and you still owe me money from
Yeah,
that.
I'm getting screwed here. And I understand, like, I want to be excited for your trips to Japan and Costa Rica, but I'm owed an international trip myself, basically.
Right.
$4,000 worth of.
I would
Trip.
lead with, do you owe me money for the Mardi Gras party? You
That's
may
a good,
need
that's
to
a good
let
one to knock out.
some of the funds go. Like some
Yeah.
of this may be a wash now. Like if it's
Yeah.
for dinner 3 weeks or like, sorry, not 3 weeks, 3 months ago, that like was a one-off, but like a party's like a tangible, they owe you, etc. So like that's a
Mhm.
good thing to lead off with. We're not leading off with, no, you're going to Japan and that's expensive. But like if it becomes a combative situation, you're like, well, it does feel like you might be able to afford it because you were taking some of this travel. And I feel like you have owed me money for 9 months for this party.
Yeah.
Well, not 9
that's-
months. Mardi Gras was 3 months ago. But like,
right.
I would let go of some of the small stuff,
Mhm.
get paid on the big stuff. If it becomes a problem, I'd be like, this is uncomfortable for me. I do think that you need to pay me back for this.
Mhm. I think
And in the future, we're not gonna split checks anymore. I think it's better for my own personal.
agreed. I think it's like at this point, you kind of eat $1,200 worth of year-long expenses.
Right.
You get your 2/3 of $4,000 for the party because that's a very tangible, very easy to be like, look, forget and almost use that as a concession. Like, forget about whatever. I understand you have a kid. Expensive. The party's not a non-negotiable, especially now that you're clearly able to afford these things.
Right.
And if we can pay it, we can payment plan, we can set it up, but it's going to be more strict going forward because
Yeah.
I can't build up another $4,000 tab on y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know too, because he said they acknowledged the Venmos. Like, does he have a list of pending Venmos and stuff too?
Yeah.
Like
If you
a
have the list
log?
of pending Venmos, then
Yeah.
you start with the party and be like, and
Mhm.
there are all these other pending Venmos I'd love to get paid on, but like this is the most important to me right now.
Right.
And then that can open up a broader conversation. But it's uncomfortable. Money is uncomfortable, especially with people that are not like you're not related to, not your significant other, et cetera. But it's also something that needs to be addressed because it definitely can ruin friendships. It can
Mhm.
ruin lots of relationships,
Totally.
like marriages and brothers, like sibling relationships, parents. I
Mhm.
mean, money can make some uncomfortable positions. So I would have the conversation, know that you may not recoup any of the money, but then maybe that guides your friendship going forward.
Amen. That's going to do it for us today, Sal. Fun episode. Kept this one tight.
Yeah.
Good stuff all around. Appreciate you guys for hopping on. Please leave us a review, a message, 5 stars or not. Up to you guys. But if you would like to write into the mail and get your questions asked and answered, please do so at the link below this episode description or in our Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast or in the Instagram bio at Mail-In Podcast. So in the meantime, where can people find you, Sal?
Sally deFries on Instagram.
I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman on Instagram, Twitter. I think those are the 2. That's Randall Trimbacki at Randall Trimbacki.
At Randy Trimbacki.
Randy Trimbacki. Apologies. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.